Let's go.
I am.
Okay, start out with the flag. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone. Welcome to, not bad, a little weak. Welcome to Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. It's February 2nd, 2023. And flanked on my right is Commissioner Kevin Cook, who represents District 2, and on my left is Commissioner Aaron Mays, who represents District 3. I'm Bill Rippon, and I represent District 1. What's first?
First is item 3, consent agenda.
I would move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 4, new business A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Commissioners, we have vouchers that total $3,538,907.70. The highlights out of the voucher report, the largest expenditure is the under Facilities Management, Senny and Company, $848,174.32 for courthouse renovation, followed up by JADO, which was $815,374.52. Under the health insurance premium for the county employees, $391,397. Under allocations for social service agencies, $256,532.50. Solid waste, primarily waste management fees of $267,108.42. Holding accounts with the state of Kansas, $122,026.29. Under 911, Motorola Solutions was $267,428.84, which is annual system upgrades for Astro P25 system. Under buildings maintenance, Andy Schreiner construction of $24,700 is for stamped walkways at Ward Mead. And then under Public Works, M&B Company for $22,488.96 for the pump is for paint striping truck. I don't have any questions and would move for approval.
Second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I would move that we approve the correction orders.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next.
Item B, Public Works, number 1, consider awarding a bid to Rush Truck Center for the purchase of a heavy-duty tandem axle dump truck with stainless steel dump bed, sander, and snow plow. Funding will come from the Special Machinery Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. This is an item that was approved last September as part of our 2023 budget, capital outlay items. The cost is approximately $210,000, which is approximately $30,000 higher than a truck we bought, the last truck we bought in 2021. But considering what's happened over the last couple years with COVID costs, labor, etc., I think this cost is a good price, and I wish to move forward with the purchase with your blessing. Questions?
Did you get many bids on this?
One bid.
That was it.
Normally we get 2. This company we've dealt with before, and we've had a good history with them. So, again, I wish to move forward on that.
Okay.
Kurt, on the tab, I don't know what you call it, the table that they submitted with your agenda item, there's other items too. There's a mower tractor, a skid steer, flex wing mower deck. Are those things coming down the pipe?
Are you looking at my cover letter? Is that what you're looking
Yeah.
at? Yeah. Though, if it's in gray, it means that it doesn't really apply here, but we've already talked about it.
Okay.
We ordered those items late last year on a contract, and we did that early just because of the delay in delivery. So here, we're just talking about the dump truck today.
Okay, okay.
What about delivery time? Are things still
Well,
dragging?
I noticed in here, it was a 2024 model vehicle, so I suspect delivery will occur late this year, possibly early the following year. But again, considering what we've seen, this is not extraordinary.
Amazing times we're
Yeah.
living in.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item.
Item C, Facilities Management. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C31-2023 to contract with Mid-America Painting for on-call painting at various county buildings per attached bid proposals and contract.
Good afternoon, or good morning, Commissioners. Nelda Henning, Director of Facilities Management. As stated by the clerk, this is a request to contract with Mid-America Painting for on-call painting services for the county, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Did you have many people bid on this project?
We
Or this-
received 3 proposals.
Three
Yes.
proposals?
And this is the lowest of the 3.
Okay.
I appreciate you getting a bid for the after-hours painting as well, as that would probably be in order a lot of times, so.
Yes.
Any other questions?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you,
Thank you.
Nelda. Next item.
Item D, Department of Corrections. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C32-2023 with Sound Products, a sole source purchase to replace 6 network video recorders and expand the camera switch network for the video security system at the Department of Corrections. The total cost of the request is $135,318.72 and will be paid with capital outlay funding if approved.
Good morning, Commissioners. Eve Kendall, Department of Corrections. We have NVRs that are outdated, end of life. I don't know if you remember, we talked about this last year as part of the capital outlay projects that we were requesting. We also have some camera switch that we need to expand as we continue to make our system more robust, either by changing analog to digital and so on and so forth. We find that we need a larger camera switch system network. By doing this, we'll be able to replace or include more cameras in our areas as we find blind spots or areas that need better camera system. All this is through Sound Products, who we have a very good working relationship with, and with your approval, we will move forward with this. I'll stand for any questions.
Questions? I'll move for approval then.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
you.
Happy Groundhog Day.
Again?
All right, next item.
Item E, Health Department. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C41-2023, a memorandum of understanding for safe routes to school planning involving the City of Topeka, USD 501, Heartland Healthy Neighborhoods, and Shawnee County Health Department at no cost to Shawnee County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Can't say it any better than the clerk just did. We're looking at entering into an MOU with the entities outlined. I was lucky enough to be a part of the pilot program for Safe Routes to School all the way back in 2014, 2015. It is an evidence-based program that looks at increasing physical activity for students getting to and from school safely. What we understand is that by increasing physical activity, you see higher test scores, more engagement, less absenteeism in schools. And so the goal here is to work with USD 501, primarily to start with the elementary schools and develop Safe Routes to School plans and potential infrastructure upgrades to the surrounding areas so that kids can walk, bike to school safely. It's going to be a great partnership with our Grassroots Health Coalition, Heartland Healthy Neighborhoods, USD 501, and the City of Topeka through the Complete Streets Advisory Committee that I also sit on. And so it's just a great opportunity. Looking forward to this proposal and moving forward. I stand for any questions you may have.
Question?
Craig, are there certain schools that are problematic now that you're going to try and start with?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We're going to try to do a full analysis of all of the USD 501 elementary schools. What we will be looking at is working with a consultant to develop the plans. What they'll do is an initial analysis and then propose to us and the rest of the planning team for this, kind of how we will move through the elementary school. So I don't have that answer for you right now. What I can say is we piloted this program with Quincy Elementary School because we identified it had the most free or reduced lunches. Some of the test scores were lower than the other schools around it, and so that's where we piloted, and we knew that there was some aging infrastructure over there on the north side. So I know for a fact that the consultants will take a lot of that into account when they look at developing those plans.
I would be interested to know, we did an extension of the Shunga Trail where we went underneath 29th Street. It's out there by 29th and Fairlawn roughly.
Right.
And I know there's kids that live north of that 29th Street to go to French Middle School, and then there's a grade school on the north side of 29. I'm not sure which one it is, but the kids, they go through that intersection, or they used to, which was a mousetrap for cars, let alone kids. And I was just wondering if they're using that trail and.
You know, that's a great question. I think that would be a great conversation to have with Parks and Recreation. Several years ago, I think you recall this, we were able to secure a grant to get an eco counter to put on the trails. It's been on the Shunga Trail in several different locations. A great opportunity potentially to have a conversation with the leadership team of Parks and Recreation would be to look at placement of that eco counter right there underneath that, where that goes underneath the interstate and by 29th to see if we could calculate how many folks are using the trail there.
That was part of the selling feature of our grant, is we
Exactly.
allow kids to get through that intersection without any interference with cars, and just wondered if it worked. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's, are they using it? So, anyway, okay, well,
So, can I ask a couple more?
Sure, sure.
So Craig, I know this is basically to hire a consultant, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or
Correct. That, I mean, part of the MOU, and one of there are 7 roles and responsibilities the health department will kind of take in. And a lot of that is technical assistance, because we've been through the Safe Routes to School process before, and we worked with the MTPO in that process when the city of Topeka funded part of that work. And so we have been looking at Safe Routes to Schools for many years and had conversations on the periphery. So what we'll be looking at is providing, as a health department, some technical assistance, evidence-based practices, and helping to drive based on what we did as a pilot program through the GIS partnership that we had to do the walking audits and things of that sort. And so the first piece, yes, is to bring on hire a consultant and bring on an individual organization to help develop those plans. And then moving from the development of those plans ultimately down the road and looking at some additional implementation dollars through the Pathways Initiative, as well as whether that's KDOT, TA, Transportation Alternative Grants, and others, is to then actually look at those tiers from 1 down through 3 about can we do educational campaigns in the schools? Are there partnering opportunities there to look at walking school buses or to raise awareness around how to walk and bike safely to school, whether that's adding bike racks to schools and things of that sort, all the way down to looking at actual partnerships for infrastructure, looking at adding in bicycle lanes around schools, adding in sidewalks, replacing aging infrastructure where cracked sidewalks may be. When we looked at Quincy Elementary School, a lot of the sidewalks around there were still brick sidewalks. So the city of Topeka has a great brush hog thing that goes over there, and so we identified those and partnered with the city of Topeka to get some of those brick sidewalks cleaned up so that they were actually usable. So there's a lot of different things that are possibilities here. What we would have to do is do the plan, take a look at all the elementary schools first, and then basically kind of develop a task list from there as what are opportunities, where's some funding to look at, and then to kind of check the boxes off from there.
Okay, well, I'd like to make a request.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty passionate about rail safety, so could you please pay close attention to any schools that are near railroad tracks and make sure that kids are not near them if possible, so.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. I love it.
Craig, you mentioned working with 501. Is the city of Topeka involved in this too, or?
Yes, they are one of the central partners of this MOU.
Because I know they did a sidewalk plan for the city, and I just, there's lots of places where you'll go a block where there's a sidewalk and then there's a gap and then it picks up
Right.
again, and
Yeah.
I could see where that could play into being a win for you guys and them
For
as
sure.
well. And so,
Yeah, you hit on, if I may, you hit on a great point there. And so I think one of the great things about how robust this partnership is between the city of Topeka, the health department in the county, the Heartland Healthy Neighborhoods and USD 501 is, we have some great bike and ped master plans, right? We have Parks and Recreation with the great Trails Network, and I know there's some budding conversations now about updating the Trails Master Plan. If we can figure out ways to intertwine all of these together and create an environment where it's really easy and safe for children to walk to school, that is our end goal here. The connectivity, really, to the T.
all right,
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner May, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0.
Thank you,
Craig.
Commissioners.
Next item.
Item F, Commission Number 1, consider approval of Resolution Number 2023-11 to include Exhibit A work sessions in paragraph 2 of the organizational resolution, rescinds Resolution Number 2023-1 and any other resolutions in conflict herewith.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Kraus, Shawnee County Counselor. Following our work session discussion on Monday about the organizational resolution and specifically about how we are going to conduct work sessions, I made a few changes that I think gives us more flexibility in how we conduct work sessions. If you go to Exhibit A, the first change occurs in paragraph 3. Instead of suggesting that every single work session we're going to have an item for administrative communications and public comment, this will give the chair the ability to put that on the agenda at appropriate times. And so that'll give us flexibility. If we leave this site and we go to other sites, it's probably not the best time to have administrative communications or public comment. So paragraph number 3 simply identifies that that'll be left up to the chair as to whether to add that as an item on a particular agenda. And then number 4 was changed to correspond to the change in number 3, which basically just says if public comment is allowed by the chair, and then goes into the rules for public comment. And of course, as we discussed, any issue before the Board of County Commissioners, this is a board, and so if, for example, the chair sets a limit of 4 minutes for public comment, and the entire board wants to extend that time for a particular speaker, the full board can vote to extend that time, and that'll be extended. And those are the principal changes made to the organizational resolution regarding work sessions. I'll try to answer any other questions you might have.
Questions? No,
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Jim. What's next here?
Item-
Consider approval.
F2, consider approval of Resolution Number 2023-12 establishing the Stormont-Ville Event Center Advisory Board.
Jim Kraus, Shawnee County Counselor. Again, thank you for the first item. This item has been a work for a couple of meetings in progress with the Stormont-Ville Event Center Advisory Board. When we looked back at the original resolutions, those resolutions had not been changed since the early 90s, establishing the advisory board. So the advisory board wanted to basically harmonize what they do now with the resolution that's in place. So for example, paragraph 1 where it talks about the establishment and purpose of the advisory board, each item A through G, the advisory board went through, voted on, looked at the language in the original resolution, voted to make changes where necessary, and so the advisory board itself came up with A through G as what their role should be when they have meetings before the advisory board. So we made changes in paragraph 1. We made changes in paragraph 3, specifically subsection 7, to identify the terms of each existing advisory board member so we could identify when those terms will end. again, looking back at how the original resolution was done, but making it clear where those terms are. We've also extended the term so that there's not the term limit, so there's no longer 2 terms, but 3 terms available. And 2 terms sound like of 3 years sound like a long time, but actually several board members expressed the notion that it seemed like about the time they got their feet under them and understood how the event center worked, how the manager worked, how the food and beverage worked, it was time to leave. So they wanted to stay on the board longer, and basically that was a universal point made by most board members that they wanted to have the opportunity to serve longer. Of course, anyone who serves, if they feel like they can no longer serve, can still resign. They'll be reappointed by the commissioner. There will be a reappointment by the commissioner who made the original appointment, and that new individual will serve out the remaining term, would still be subject to the 3 term limits involved. We changed the name from the original resolution in D, same paragraph, to the president of Visit Topeka Incorporated, because that name has changed a couple of times since the original resolution, and I just add or its successor organization in the event that it changes again. 4, again, has a change for the terms of office and the term limits. And 5, we made a change. Right now, it makes it appear that they are going to meet monthly no matter what. As a matter of practice, they do not meet in December. And there may be from time to time, months where there's really not that much to speak about, talk about, so they wanted to give the chair the flexibility to speak with the manager of the facility to see if there really is a meeting necessary for an upcoming month. So it provides additional flexibility to allow the advisory board to meet at different times, to cancel meetings, that sort of thing. Those are the main changes we made, but we felt like since the resolution had not been updated since the early 90s and how we were actually conducting our business had changed since then, we wanted to make this resolution fit and correspond with what is actually being done. So those are the main changes. All of them have been vetted by the advisory board, and we would just request your adoption of this resolution today, and I'll try to answer any additional questions you might have.
Any questions? Not, I'll move for approval.
Second?
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item F3, consider appointment of Trey Burton to the Civil Service Board by Commissioner Mays.
All right, so this is a spot that's been open for a while. My apologies for not getting it filled sooner. But Trey Burton was recommended to me by Joni, which was a fantastic recommendation. He's very qualified for the position. He's retired as the Chief U.S. Probation Officer, currently does leadership training. He's a great guy. I think he'd be perfect for this position, so I've moved for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion carries 3-0. Next item.
Item 5, public comment.
I have one person signed up for public comment, Irma Forbes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm plagued with the issue of homeless camp on my property, and it's bothering your property and the city's property. The address is the 2600 Southeast 23rd Street, and if you drive past there, you would see that they already make a street of their own right on Bellevue and 23rd. It's now muddy pools over there, and now they're infringing higher up onto my property because it's not very safe for them to, or it's not accommodating for them to use that spot that they have made. So now they're infringing higher up on my building.
Ms. Forbes?
Yes.
Just for the Commissioner's reference of where this is located. Ms. Forbes's facility is the former youth correctional facility, and our property is Dornwood Park. The city of Topeka is also involved with, and then community action. So it's just to the east of 29th, or I'm sorry,
23rd.
23rd in California.
23rd, it's between the area particularly we're talking about is between Bellevue and Highland Avenue.
I hope that helps. Again, I just want to make sure the commissioners know exactly where we're
Thank
talking
you.
about.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on Google Maps right now.
So Mr. Younger was down there this week, and he was appalled with the mess that's spilling over into my property. Also, they're driving, like I said, through my property, and last couple weeks I presented before the city council, and I showed them a map, a picture of my ankle in indentation that the vehicle made. I twisted my ankle and I had injury to my foot from the driving of the vehicles through there. I spoke to one of the residents there, and he assured me that he's not on my property, he's on your property and the city's property, and he's correct. But to get there, they have to travel through my property. So I'm asking for help in resolving this issue. It's becoming a terrible eyesore. It's unsafe. And one of the gentlemen was arrested. There is a warrant for his arrest. I don't know the reason, but, it's not your ideal citizens living in the woods out there. There is dirty diapers, there is feces, there's all sorts of children furniture spilling over there. I don't think that's the things they need to keep them warm. And I'm not unsympathetic. I have been very kind to the homeless. I have fed them. I have brought garbage bags for them, clothing. So I do understand, but I don't think I should be plagued with the issue because it's unsafe, it's ungodly, it's messy, and it's deplorable. I'm asking for your help.
Are there any kids back there too, or?
I haven't seen any children. The youngest person I have seen there would be about maybe 25.
Okay. Well,
Mr. Chairman.
yes.
Jim, is this something that maybe we could have you look into with the cooperation of our Parks and Recreation and the Sheriff's Office as to what the response from Shawnee County can be for encampments on Shawnee County property?
Yes, we will do so.
All right.
Okay. I just wanted to say that there were 3 police cars yesterday outside trying to help, but the gentleman with the SUV, with the truck, there is a truck parked there for the last 2 days with all sorts of things on it. He ran away and they couldn't find him. So it's really a bad problem.
May I ask a question? Is your property posted no trespassing?
Yes. And also bordering my property is a little area belonging to Pastor Round, and he has a sign on his property.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Forbes.
Jim, is there anything we can do in the county when we have people camped up in our parks? What can we do?
We'll take a look at it. I mean, it's trespassing, and we have park rules that deal with the times and the manner of activities that are allowed to occur. So oftentimes it's a matter of enforcing those rules. But as we note, I believe the city of Topeka just hired a consultant or is considering hiring a consultant to look at this problem. It's a national problem, it's a local problem, and it's something that we're going to have to decide what our Shawnee County response is going to be with regard to Shawnee County parks and other Shawnee County properties.
So I'm looking at the map here, and there are a lot of different property owners in that, and there's a kind of an easement that snakes through, and so it's an interesting thing. I mean, we'd obviously need to work with the other property owners there because there are, it looks like probably 4 or 5 different entities that are kind of in that area. I'm curious if maybe we could have Parks and Rec drop some boulders to at least shut down that road. I mean, would that be something you would be okay with, or?
I would be okay with anything that would help. In fact, I have called Kansas Fencing. It would cost me
You wanna come up here? I don't know that it'll pick up your voice from back there.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I have contacted Kansas Fencing. It would cost me $5,000 to fence my property. That's how desperate I am. Passed around, I have tried to contact him on several occasions and was unable to most of the time. So, and the path that's made right on Bellevue, the people created that path themselves. It's a big car width road that they created.
Right.
So they have ruined that lawn area, and now they're going to ruin my area. And I want you to know that I spend about $600 a month to keep my grass and lawn cared for, or else I get cited.
Well, so the road is something that's concerning to me. I mean, there definitely should not be driving cars back there. I mean, there's a number of problems, but I think that's an easier one to stop. And, you know, without you spending $5,000. It does look like they're also accessing it from 22nd Street, from the other direction as well, so.
Also, there was a problem of stolen cars. Not too long ago, the police department retrieved about 8 stolen cars in the back there. They're parking cars
Wow.
over there. So it's a enormous problem.
We'll definitely look into it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
All right. Anyone else from the public wishing to speak? Seeing none. Next item.
Item 6, Administrative Communications.
All right.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. Two announcements today. This Saturday, February 4th, from 9 until noon will be our Saturday collection bin out at HHW. So take advantage of the good weather. Bring out your household hazardous waste you've been collecting for the past 2 months. Everything's free with the exception of cathode ray TVs or monitors, and there's a small fee for that. Address is 131 Northeast 46th Street. And again, from 9 until noon this Saturday. And for more information, please call 286-4381. And my second announcement, again, for this year, we have partnered with KTWU for the Mr. Rogers Sweater Drive. So we're working with them, and we're asking people and the residents if they have any gently used cold weather items, whether it's blankets, garments of any type. Just feel free to drop them off at the drop locations. So you just go to ktwu.org, click on the Sweater Drive icon, if I can get over there, and it'll pull up all the locations throughout the county that they can drop those off. And I don't have an end date on here, but again, they can call Ms. Bueller. They're at 670-3175 for more information. And hopefully Ms. Beck does not admonish me for failing to post this. So, all right, thank you.
He did. I saw it on my KTWU mailings that I had received, and I saw his logo on there, and I asked him why he didn't let you know that solid waste was sponsoring it. So he did after the fact.
Yeah, I did.
So he did it
All
before,
right.
before I got a chance to get out and get on him this year, so he learns.
Well, if you don't
Thanks.
want to look it up, mostly fire stations, Bonkers, and KTWU were the locations.
Yes, and Bonkers is a business, not the North Annex.
Kurt doesn't look too happy about that comment.
Thanks for delineating that for us.
Right. Good morning, Commissioners. Stephanie Kuhlman, Shawnee County Commission Office. The February newsletter has been published to our website. It's very easy to find. You'll start off at the county homepage, www.snco.us. Up at the top, there's a list of departments and a drop-down menu. Select Commission. And from the Commission homepage, there's a link that says Newsletter. On January 14th, it marked the 100 years of history, stories, tours, ghosts, and more as Shawnee North Community Center celebrated its centennial. Recreation leader Devin Cooper led the first of several tours celebrating the centennial. Also that evening were Ghost Tales of North Topeka and Shawnee North Community Center, and then guests went on a ghost hunt. The featured department in the newsletter is the Shawnee County Solid Waste Department. Here are a few recycle guidelines to help inform our Shawnee County residents. These are a few examples of items not allowed in your curbside recycle totes. Shredded paper, whether it's bagged or not, has been recently added to the Do Not Recycle list. The bags break and creates a mess. Another tip is that it's not necessary to bag your recycled items. In fact, if they're bagged, they'll be sorted out as trash. And glass obviously should not go in the curbside totes, we know that now, but can be recycled at multiple locations that I have listed on the screen in Topeka and Shawnee County. Just look for the purple bins. And all of this information and more can be found at the Solid Waste website. Shawnee County milestones are county employees that are celebrating work anniversaries in 5-year increments. Lorelei Logan, Commissioner Cook, and County Treasurer Larry Maw have been with the county 10 years. Stephanie Dickon, Sergeant Eric Coffin, and Dina Pettit have 15 years. Lawrence Lesser and John Bilby have been with the county 25 years. And Tanya Biswell with the Appraiser's Office has been with the county for 35 years. Congratulations to all these employees. Some upcoming events in February. Every Monday at 9 a.m. will be the county work sessions. No official business will be voted upon during these meetings. This allows the department heads to present their proposals to the commission and have more time to discuss before giving an official decision during the Thursday meetings. However, the commissioners may go on site to see a county building, operation, or project, which will be noted on the agenda, and the agenda can be found on the commission webpage. And every Thursday at 9 a.m. are normally scheduled county commission meetings in February. Be sure to check out the February County Connection newsletter for more videos and stories. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Anyone else? Craig?
I must admit to be curious, Stephanie, if any ghosts were found on that ghost hunt. So, excited today to announce that our 2023 Public Health Champions Awards, the nomination cycle will be launched today. So really excited about that. That is our annual award to recognize both an individual and an organization that are leading and fostering change towards public health in our community. It can be a wide variety of sectors. I think you all have heard me say many times in the past that I would challenge anybody to come talk to me about what they do and what sectors they work in and how it doesn't impact public health. So excited to announce these today. We will have our nominations, the surveys will go live on our webpage, on our home screen. Our photo carousel will be the first photo on there this afternoon. We'll have a media release that will go out immediately following the commission meeting, and then they'll be able to find it on all of our social media networks as well. So, any questions? All right, very good. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you.
Any other staff? Nope. Commissioner Cook?
I don't have anything other than go Chiefs.
No. Commissioner Mays?
Well, I failed to mention this, but I did go to the Kansas Association of Counties and the Kansas League of Municipalities Local Government Day last week. Great event where, advocates for local government at all levels are there. We had a legislative panel where former Shawnee County Commissioner Vic Miller was certainly on his best behavior. And so it was an interesting discussion. I would say that the primary discussion centered around property tax relief and how can we get the legislature to help us out in that through the local ad valorem tax relief fund that's not been funded since 2003. And things like that. So it was a good discussion. Happy I went. I know Treasurer Ma was there. And were there any other people from Shawnee County there? I know there were some folks from the city of Topeka there as well, but good discussion. And Thursday of next week, we are having County Day at the Capitol. Our Department of Corrections has agreed to set up a booth there to maybe talk with some legislators and general public about things that our Department of Corrections is dealing with and ways that the state of Kansas might be able to help us. And so I'll be there. I encourage anybody else that wants to come, stop by. We'll be in the first floor rotunda from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m., I believe.
Good, very good.
And go Chiefs.
Okay. Well, I attended the Sunflower Classic. It didn't turn out the way I wanted, but it was a great atmosphere for basketball. And here's the best part. I made ESPN. But Travis Kelce got in the way of my real shot. But I am on the far left-hand side. You can barely see me. So there was my 2 seconds of fame on national TV. But anyway, it was, like I say, it's a good venue to watch basketball.
It's been some good seats.
They were.
Yeah, so you're right next to Travis Kelce, man.
Anyway, yeah, and Monday, we are going to have a work session, and Kellen Seitz is going to be there talking about upcoming events and some changes to our advisory board. And let's see, what else? It might bring us up to speed a little bit on some new changes to concessions at the Stormontville Event Center. So we're looking forward to that on Monday, 9 o'clock. And once again, go Chiefs. I think we have no need for an executive session. So anyway, we're adjourned.